Welcome to the DNA Talks podcast, where we take on the mission of unlocking the code of your genetics. This season is all about you, upgrading your health, not just on the surface, but down to the root cause. Join us as your clinicians at the DNA company investigate your DNA and beyond. The intention of this podcast is to enhance your lifestyle by changing what is in your control. This does not substitute the medical advice given by your personal doctor, therapist, and other healthcare professionals.
Good morning, Dr. Vega. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. I feel so blessed to be here.
We are excited to have you. And we have Dr. Krista Kostroman. I know this is the first time you're meeting Dr. Kostroman, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And she was like the focal point through your whole training with us, right?
Yeah, she was, and I love seeing you here. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot from you.
Oh, thank you. That training was such a delight to put together, in particular for practitioners I know that are going to be leveraging it within practice in such a meaningful way. It's such an honor. I'm so grateful to meet you as well.
Me too.
And I'm excited to get to see you. You know, I saw you, I think the first time was Miami, right?
Yes, in the Biohacking World Summit. I met you there. I basically went to search for you guys. You know, I went to Miami to search for you guys, and I did it.
And she found me. So once she got me, I mean, that's kind of where the whole thing took off. That's so awesome. And your sister, Amanda, she is absolutely lovely. I talk to her a lot. She's a great practice manager. So, and I think that people need to understand you are essentially our exclusive DNA company in Puerto Rico. So you have an exclusive opportunity to not only test using All DNA Co. And All DNA Co. products, but you also have the ability to treat practitioners, teach them, to bring them into your practice to kind of grow that whole ecosystem. So it's an exciting time for you.
Yes, it is. And I'm just excited about how people learn even more about how the DNA can change basically your entire life, and how biohacking is the future of science and the future of healthcare.
No, absolutely. So how did you get started? What was like that part of your life where you said, this is what I want to do. I want to be a practitioner. At what point did that happen for you?
Well, I was for 6 years having my private practice, and also doing clinical research in neuropsychology, and also in clinical psychology. And one time I noticed, after those many years, that 80% of my patients were really referred by other healthcare practitioners, that they didn't find anything in their biomarkers or any other things for their mental or physical diseases or ailments. So I then received a lot of patients having chronic conditions, and I felt I needed to do something more, because they were all dependent on medications for the symptom management, and they were dependent on a lot of psychological medications, and a lot of medications for chronic conditions. So at that time, I knew I needed to do something more. Also, my personal life, we were having also some issues in my personal life, that I knew I had to find the root causes, of some ailments. So at that moment, I began reading every book about biohacking. I began reading and studying a lot about functional genomics, biohacking, and how to find the root causes for my patients, and also for my personal life, and all my family. So when I knew about the first biohacking technology, at that time it was BrainTap. I bought it. I bought it, and I bring it to my patients. As soon as 2 weeks, they were having a lot of benefits, positive benefits, and stopped after 1 or 2 months. They stopped depending on medications. At that time, I emerged even more in biohacking, and the rest is history.
Nice. Yeah, I know that one of the things that I hear a lot is, people are looking to remove that pill for every ill, right?
Yes.
And in America, that's what we do, right? The average American is on 3.5 medications over the
Yes.
age of 25. That number used to be over the age of 40. And it really has become to where, we would rather just have that quick fix, take that pill, but we don't think about the other direct effects of those drugs. And biohacking really became very much necessary, if you will, and looking at everything from more of an outside and a 360 perspective to get to that root cause. Because, when you look at these studies that make these drugs, we're not getting to how it started. We're getting to now we're going to treat it. It's a sick care model and it doesn't work. I love that.
Yeah.
So,
And I,
go, Dr. Koshman, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say I commend you for the independent thought and research there. I meet a lot of clinicians, I think, who just accept that people are just going to be well enough as opposed to truly well. And I really admire that journey of yours that took you quite literally on planes, right, to different parts of the world to understand how do I actually serve the people before me in a way that gets them better than just well enough.
Yes,
That's
yes.
admirable because not all clinicians go there. It
Yeah,
takes a
no,
No,
lot.
she's absolutely right.
thank you for
So,
that.
and that kind of leads, oh, sorry, Dr. Vega, go ahead.
No, it's okay. And it was really amazing how you basically show people that you can have control of your own health. And digging deep into your DNA or your 360 wellness solution or personalized solutions will definitely get you to where you want to be without depending on any medications.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of leads into my next question. I mean, how do you define optimal health for people? How do
Mm.
you
Mm.
define or set that stage for that human potential to really kind of advocate for ourselves, to have agency within our own, ideology as it relates to uh, medication and wellness and biohacking and all of that? How do you define that for you and for the people that come into your practice?
Well, my definition about optimal health definitely begins with how do your body and your mind works together. Definitely the
Mm.
combination about gut brain connection. And as soon as you know what your gut is saying to you and what your gut needs, and also what your mind needs, and that combination about gut brain and balancing those, for me, that's optimal health.
Mm.
Yeah, I think
Interesting.
that's true. Dr. Kosterman, we see a lot of patients, and that's kind of sometimes that's where we start, right? With the chronic condition folks.
Absolutely. I think that definition of wellness, in particular within the chronic illness space, is very powerful and needed because I think those who have navigated chronic illness for so long have become very disconnected from their body and they no longer trust that gut intuition, right? Because for so long they've been approached and they said, I'm not well. And people by and large have said, well, there's no markers that are wrong, or I don't know what to do with you. So here's a pill and just kind of suck it up. So I love that definition of kind of reintegrating mind and body and allowing that to be one of the first points we start that healing journey, right? It's a very beautiful intention for our practice.
Thank you. Yes, and we have seen how changing small habits like the way our patients eat, the way our patients think, or even how they manifest things way before I bought the first biohacking technology or even made them the first DNA testing. Way before that, I saw how they definitely changed their own lives about just getting to know more their gut and also getting to know more their brain needs or how both talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
We
that's
actually
very
have a
powerful.
lot of yeah, we have a lot of people that are in Puerto Rico that now can actually come to your clinic and work with you not just on their DNA testing, but they can do the gut testing. They can do the PGX testing and find out what medications they really should never take ever, right? So there's a lot that we're doing with you. But tell me what it's like for a patient. What is a patient's journey like in your clinic?
It's amazing. First of all, our patients, after all, they feel peaceful, they feel understanding, but also the way they come to Welly because they have some issues, mental issues, or maybe they want to optimize their health. or or prevent. So basically our patients come and say, maybe they had one fibromyalgia. Let's say patients that have fibromyalgia, they have been living with fibromyalgia their entire lives, depending on medications with chronic conditions, and they come for me because they have depression or anxiety because of that chronic illness. So when we see that patients, we test the patient first. So what we first do, we test them, we interview them and know what are their needs. And then with the test, we do a neural check scan, a DNA testing, a microbiome testing, or whatever test, a DNA 360 test we need to do them. After that, we discuss with them the results, and then we plan a personalized treatment plan that goes with the results. And then we basically we go through the entire process about changing their habits, changing their lives, see how they change with us. So here we have more than eight biohacking technologies, from oxygen chamber machines to cryotherapy. So we help them not only to find the root cause, but to treat the root cause on the whole journey, on the whole wellness journey. So it's a really, really amazing moment when you see a patient from the moment they were so depressed looking for answers to the moment you find the root cause, and then to the moment they leave here. It's life changing.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I actually, I'm going to come down and see your clinic.
Yeah,
So I'm excited
we're
about
waiting
that.
for you guys. Yes.
I know, right? And I'm going to let Dr. Kostroman go. She's been all over me about, oh, take me with you. I'm like, oh my God. You have no
Please
idea how much
come.
work it is traveling with this woman. I'm just telling you.
It's a
Please come.
delight. I'm an absolute delight. That's what she means.
Yes, she is. I just tease her because I can. But yeah, no, actually, we are going to come down. I think Allison's going to join us as well. What's one, you mentioned some of the tools that you have in the clinic. What's one unconventional idea that you believe in that's not necessarily widely adapted yet?
Well, definitely your gut is your second brain. That for me, it's my main unconventional idea. You don't find a lot of clinicians, and not more here in Puerto Rico, that really believe that your gut is your second brain. Definitely finding or fixing your gut can really help curing your anxiety, your depression, or ADD,
Mm.
or even pain, or really pain, really more
Mm.
fast and more sustainable than pills. So that's something that's one of our core beliefs. And you know, not all people believe in this. Not all clinicians believe in this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You get a lot of
Which to
pushback. I
me,
mean, I know Dr. Kosterman, you've experienced that for a long time, right?
yes, yes. I'm a witch and enjoyably so. No, but I to me I still find it amusing that things that are very founded within scientific and clinical literature are still things that are not necessarily conventionally accepted. I think I see within more and more like conventional medical practices this idea of, oh yeah, I guess the biome is important. Oh yeah, I guess we should consider this. Oh yes, I guess there's something going on where we have all like the most nervous innovation outside of the brain. Maybe something's happening there. But then the step towards, okay, well, what do we actually do about it? And then acting out that is lost. I find it very fascinating how research is adopted. And there's part of me that's almost sad that the unconventional thing that you believe in is, to me at least, well founded in literature, and we have enough evidence to say it is viable. And yet it is something still treated as something that is not accepted. Right? To me, that's hard and trying to hear, in particular given in your own clinical practice, I know in my clinical practice or the work of the DNA company, how powerful it can be to understand what's going on within the biome, to make those lifestyle diet adjustments, and how transformative that can be along so many different metrics of health.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's
And
that's hard to hear.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's I think it's a fine line, because we receive a lot of patients from mental health issues,
Hmm.
depending or having a dependency on medications for 15 or 20 years.
Yeah.
And it's so sad how they have been to a lot of practitioners, and they
Yeah.
say like, you need to do more exercise, or you need to eat better, or you need to change this
Mhm.
or change that. But as soon as you leave the office, no one shows you how to do it, or no one tells you this is your personalized treatment that can
Yeah.
help you do it,
Yeah.
because maybe someone, we have a lot of patients that come here um, with supplements that they have spent a
Mhm.
lot of money in supplements that they don't even
Mhm.
need, and
Yes.
they're just like supplements that are trending, and they come with this
Yep.
super ashwagandha, and they talk with this super vitamin C, and they think that drinking all of those supplements help them.
Mhm.
But as soon as you see their DNA, you see this is not a one size fits all supplement. So you
Yeah.
need maybe ashwagandha, it's good for you, maybe this supplement is good for you, but really you don't need it. So in that time, it's amazing
Yeah.
how we have helped people even spend less money on
Right.
their supplements, because you only need maybe one or two supplements.
And yet you get
Right.
better impact. I experience the same thing. People come in with a very long list and they almost expect that I'm going to add to it because their health comes through these pills. And this is a byproduct of the Western medical model, right? Here's an
Right.
ill, here's a pill. And people have said, okay, well, I don't want the pharmaceuticals because those are bad. Instead, I'm just going to take all these supplements, which I would offer should be treated and prescribed and respected like pharmaceuticals, insofar as with someone who's qualified, with someone who understands what they're doing, and then for a period of time. There's very few supplements that people should be on for the long haul, right? Yeah.
And I
So it's
think that that's, there's a couple of pieces to that. When functional medicine became a thing here in America, it was about, I mean, it really kind of blew up about 25 years ago. Okay. And as things like A4M became a thing, I mean, we were
mm,
some of the first people at A4M, right?
mhm.
And there was like nobody there. And now A4M takes over half of the Venetian,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But A4M was a great place to start. Suzanne Summers, who was there, I was there with T.S. Wiley and with the Wiley Protocol, and Suzanne Summers took to the stage, and she's talking about how she got into
Mhm.
functional medicine. It really was through, in part and parcel, Dr. Mike Gallister, who's up in Santa Monica, and T.S. Wiley with the Wiley Protocol. And she was like the little darling to kind of speak to all of this. So people took it even less seriously,
Yeah.
which was really unfair, because I think that, like you guys said, there's not a pill for everything, right? And so then people went running two camps. It was allopathic
Yeah.
or functional, and all the allopathic people did nothing but talk shit on the functional medicine people. And then,
Mhm.
people would come in. I take 43 of these supplements every morning. Well, no wonder you feel like shit. The 43 supplements is not going to work for anybody. But it is that understanding that root cause,
Yeah.
understanding that here's your functional genome, here is how your body is going to adapt to this, this, and this. Here's what you don't have naturally, and here's how we can solve for that. And I think people are learning by people like you, Dr. Vega, like Dr. Kostroman. Dr. Kostroman's on, webinars 3, 4 times a week, and she's saying the same thing over and over. Do your research, make sure it fits
Mhm.
you, and don't be wooed into these trends of, the LSD clinic out in the desert, right? It is what it
Yes.
is,
Mhm.
Dr. Kosterman. I'm calling it what it is. But right, I
I'm
am the
not
reason we have
I'm not
disclaimers on these podcasts. I'm just going to throw it out there.
yeah, and the disclaimer that we will agree to disagree.
Yes, yes, I know, and that's the great part about what we do. You
Yeah.
can think that that's good. You can think that that is applicable in some cases. It
In
is
some
not going
cases.
to be in all, and that's the
Correct.
part that I think functional medicine has gotten a really bad rap for. Right?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think that the traditional doctors that haven't stepped foot inside of a school for 35 years, that do,
Mhm.
CEU credits only in their area of competence, they're not looking at any new research. They're not looking at any new anything, unless a drug rep comes in many cases, and says, here we've got this, and here's all this cool stuff. we had to put laws in place to stop that kind of buying of a practitioner, right?
Yeah, and but I would offer functional medicine practitioners, we need to be self-aware and own what we can be doing better too. I think sometimes we
Oh,
get
absolutely.
hyperbolic around things that we're saying. We distort claims. And so when an MD comes and says, "But you've promised the world off this one pill," we need to be mindful of our language, just as we need to be mindful of supplement companies that try and hawk things as if it's this panacea cure for all,
Right.
right? We as functional medicine practitioners also need to call them out and be like, we know that's not true. We know it's applicable to this, but not
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
right? And so it's not to say that MDs. I think MDs, while everything you've said is absolutely true, there's a huge segment that just refuse to learn or be open to other. I think
Right.
we can't control them directly, but we can control how we present ourselves and what we're
Yeah.
doing.
I always say that we don't compete with any traditional medicine, or we don't compete with MDs. We just People come to us after they have tried the traditional way for years. So
Yeah.
basically, we don't look for people come to us because they knew that for years traditional ways has not been the answer for
Right.
for a cure
Yeah.
or for their health. So I always say that we don't compete with anything. We just show health. We just show
Right.
people how to take
Yeah.
control of their health. We
Yeah.
just show people what are the root cause. We help the
Yeah.
people to see the root cause. We help people to
Yeah.
feel better. And with that, you don't have to compete with anything or anyone. You just
Yeah.
Right.
you just do what you have to do, and patients feel
Yeah.
better. It's
Yeah.
science.
Well, and that's the thing. See, the part that annoys me about our community and our industry is the people that are not practitioners. The people
Mm.
that are not practitioners, they didn't go through everything you guys did. They didn't go and take all of those courses
Mhm.
and really do the under the hood work. They found something, it resonated with them. They had a magnetic personality, and it burst onto the world as a real thing. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of that, and I think that that's why people do look at clinics like yours, Dr. Vega, like ours, Dr. Kostroman,
Mhm.
and say, I don't know if you guys are legit. Well, we have nothing but doctors here, baby. Nothing but doctors here. And
Mhm.
they're all well trained, they're all well respected, and the same for you, Dr. Vega. But people do have to be aware. People really have
Absolutely.
to look at that person that's standing on a stage telling you to, jumpstart your
Jumpstart
car
your
with
car.
crystals. That's the nicest thing I could have said. Jumpstart your car with crystals. You might want to ask a question or two. Hey, where'd you go to school, brother? But people don't, right? They
No,
don't
that's
ask.
a very sound question. Yeah, where do you hold
Right,
licensure? Yeah.
right,
No, and
right.
I
Where'd you go to school?
and I think that's, again, I think that speaks to why some MDs are so dubious and hesitant.
Right. Yeah.
And Tracy, you know how many times we've had conversations with an MD who's walked in a little bit scaly, and then by the end of the conversation, they're like, "Oh, so you're
Oh,
actually smart and you actually know what you're talking about." And they don't, that cognitive dissonance creeps in, and they're like, "I don't know what to do with this."
right. That's
Yeah.
hysterical. So, Dr. Vega, I know you've had a ton of challenges standing up this clinic, right?
Yeah.
What's that been like for you?
Well, I think that the most difficult challenge is to that the as we have been speaking about, the quick fix, changing that quick fix mindset, and
Mm, mm,
take showing people that healing really takes time. But
mm.
if you stick to with well to our plan, to our personalized plan, to what your genomics says, well, you're definitely gonna fade away your chronic symptom. It doesn't matter if it's physical or mentally. So one of my most challenges is to fix that quick fix, and say that, and help people know that waiting this time for the personalized program, it's even faster to get better than with another traditional treatments, and also that it's worth every battle or every dollar that you spend. I'll always say my patients, you spend in your DNA kit, you spend in your microbiome kit, you spend in every 360 kit we have, also in the neural check. one time, because as soon as you know what's happening with you, you'll change that. You will not be depending on any other medication. You will only be depending on on the supplements that your body needs. So basically, I think that education, it's one of my most challenges right now.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's like what you said, people come in and they think, well, I've already spent all this money and I've already done. It's like, okay, listen, first of all, you will invest as an adult, and we all do it. We will invest in a car. Why do we invest in a car? Because we need to get from here to there. Why do we invest in a nicer car? Because we'd like to get from here to there in comfort and with certainty of reliability, right? So if you want to really do something for yourself, you have to look at it as important as what else you put your money into. This is your house. Your genetics is your foundation. If you do not understand how to make sure that foundation is not cracked, damaged, or destroyed, your house is going to come crumbling down. And people need to understand that. So I think it's great what you guys are doing, Dr. Vega. You guys are educating. You guys are letting people learn in their own pace, but you're encouraging that, and you're really inspiring change in your patients. I love that about what you guys are doing. So where are you headed? I know you have a few practitioners in the practice now. Where is the Welli Clinic going to be in 5 years?
Well, we're working with a franchise. So basically, right now we just opened our first clinic in February, and we already have plans to open the next 4 clinics in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean. So this is going fast because we are reading the first and only clinic in Puerto Rico right now, focusing on biohacking and gut brain health. And we also have you guys as partners and working with us. So basically, in 5 years, we want a lot of people to look back and say, wow, you changed my life, you changed my kid's life. And
Yeah.
we want to be accessible. We want to be like, let's say you're a local gym, but you go there and you just fix your brain, your gut. So basically, we're getting there. So we're
Nice.
spreading the word about about biohacking, and we're spreading the word about getting control of your own health. Yeah.
I love that. I'm so excited for you. And I will come to the Caribbean. I just want to throw out there.
I
I'm a
was,
team player. I'm going to do what I have to do to help.
and I will go
know,
as her babysitter. She'll need a
and
babysitter, and I'll go.
trust me, I will need adult daycare at the Caribbean without a doubt.
Yes, we are waiting for you, and I'm so happy that you partner with us to change people's lives. This is something that we are definitely breaking some traditional beliefs. We are breaking some myths, but I know that this is the future of wellness, and this is just getting started. So we're starting this movement in here in Puerto Rico and the Caribbean.
I love it. I'm so excited. Okay, so Dr. Vega, what's the legacy? What's Dr. Vega's legacy? 10, 20 years out. What's the legacy? Tell us.
Well,
What do you see?
as I said, I want people to see back and say, like, she taught us how to. She taught us how to take control of our health and stop blaming our bodies and start working with them. So I want people to see us in 5, 10 years and say, with you or with Welli, I learned that my body has their own power to heal.
Nice. I love that. Dr. Kosterman, any thoughts?
As to that legacy, I love it.
Absolutely. I'm excited for her. I can't wait to watch this. These
And
guys
I
have
think
picked up so much pace. They're doing a ton of testing. They literally opened the door in February, and they're one of our busiest franchisees right now.
I love it. And what I think I love most about that model is that when you change the mind of one person around how much authority and autonomy they can have over their health, that to an extent becomes infectious, because when the community witnesses someone who has gone from unwell in whatever state that was to a consistent state of well, right? People ask questions, and then that then empowers the community to be like, well, if they could do it, maybe I could too. And then you start to shift the health of not just that person, but of others. I think just like we think of unwellness can be, infectious as well. You put in a McDonald's somewhere, and that is the main feeding source of a community. The community becomes unwell. But if you put in a clinic, and a clinic in particular that is seeking to better people, that becomes infectious. And so I'm so very, like, the scientist in me is kind of like, maybe we track all the data, maybe we track the community, see what they're doing.
Oh,
But separate
yes.
to that, just
Yes.
the heart, the clinician heart in me is just
Yeah.
so
And
grateful for
so
this
no,
mission.
so amazing. And it's so amazing also to see how we help people or families to break generational traumas, because
Oh yeah.
we help
Yeah.
people to show their kids, as you said, Dr. Krista,
Mhm.
you help people to show their kids or their family, as I did with my own family,
Mhm.
me and my husband with our kids, and
Yeah.
helping our family get out of medications, and know
Yeah.
and seeing how all of this change
Mhm.
our personal lives and also our patients' life. You really make a change in their generation, because you're
Yeah.
breaking generational traumas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And on a behavioral level, but also an epigenetic level, like the
Right.
evidence that is mounting towards what you pass on to your children epigenetically, to be able to solve that familial trauma and then shift that in your children and then their children is just such a, ooh, I love it.
Well, and I think one of the things that's going to be really important, especially in your part of the world, is people have to understand they've got to invest in themselves. They've got to
Mhm.
understand that as a clinical practitioner, as someone that's bringing all of these cutting edge tools, you're putting everything into it. You're putting your money on the line. You're putting your reputation on the line. You are increasing your education. You are training and propagating who you are and what you do in multiple regions. That all takes a ton of heart, a ton of
Mhm.
money, and a ton of what we call intestinal fortitude, which means you've got the gut to get it done, right? And people that come into your clinic, they need to understand that they've got to invest in themselves. They've got to bite the bullet on, the several $100 for this test, or $250 for that hour or half hour with you, or whatever the case may be. They've got to recognize that if they do that, their house is going to stand tall. Their house is going to be great. They don't have to worry about it coming crumbling down where they end up. They're not able to ambulate over 70. They can't pick up anything heavier than a gallon of milk. I mean, people shouldn't live like that. You don't want to live like that. So
Mhm.
put that time in, put that money in, because you're putting all the time and the money in, Doc.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the real deal is that as soon as people come, they see that, yeah, they see, well, I have to spend right now in my health. But as soon as they come, they see, as I said before, they spend less, because they don't have to depend
Right.
on monthly medication. They don't have to depend in paying healthcare insurance so expensive, because they take control of your health and they know how to change your habits. So we help people step by step change their habits and use technology, supplements, and functional genomics to know that this is your personalized wellness plan or your personalized wellness solution, and you'll get there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. And we have like a 97% retention rate for patients that really
Mhm.
stay with us, because maybe they,
Wow.
they come with us only to find the root cause, but then they find in us that we have all of this
Yeah.
technology, so they optimize their health with us.
Mhm.
So as soon as you find your
Yeah.
root cause, then you can also prevent other illness or other mental or physical diseases if you stay with our plans or with our membership plans in our clinic, because we help you not just get there and also prevent a future illness or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a fascinating idea within medical care, right? I think in particular when people come into the model of seeking root cause, I think conventionally you expect to get well enough, whatever that looks like. But then to be taken into a space where you're truly well, that shifts your experience of life and then your expectation of life. Because once you know what well feels like, and once you know that well is possible beyond, being 2025, then there's that element of addiction to it to a certain extent, a very healthy addiction, I would offer, but something that you know how you could feel. And so you begin to invest and act and live in a way that enables that feeling best, which is such a happy, interesting byproduct. I love that you're able to get people there and offer that to people.
The fact is, ladies, we can change the day we die, right? I mean, that's really the bottom line. We can do that. We have the scientific evidence to prove that you can reverse and prevent, and you can do so safely, effectively, and consistently. And that's what you guys are doing at Welli. So I'm super excited. Dr. Vega, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I know your practice is very busy. Dr. Kostroman, as always, thank you for being here. But ladies, this has been delightful. And I'm super excited to come and see you. I can't wait. It'll be fun.
Oh, me neither. I can't wait to see both of you. So we'll wait here in Puerto Rico, and thank you. As I said, I'm super blessed to meet you, Krista, and to see you again, Tracy. And I hope we together change a lot of lives, because I know you both also are in the same mindset as we are, and we're gonna go worldwide. We are basically making a lifetime movement, a lifestyle movement. So thank you. Thank you for everything.
Amen. Thank you. It was wonderful to spend time with you this morning, ladies. Thank you both very much. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.